This is Kelly Shaefer from Atheist, and you're listening to the Brutally Delicious podcast. Crank it the fuck up.
Hi, everyone. Stop laughing, Chris. Hey, guys. This is Irina from Silentium, and you're listening to the Brutally Delicious podcast.
And I'm Bruce.
And I'm going to try and say my name like Rena. And this is Chris.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I was thinking about how I could roll my R's. I could be Bruce or something.
Yeah, you could.
It sounds more Spanish than it does Finnish.
Really? I don't think there's anything more like Finnish than the word perkele and how the...
Anyway, today we're going to be talking with Kelly from Atheist. I know these guys have been around a while. I just saw them on the boat, which I think you want to ask them about, Chris.
Oh, you better believe I do.
And if you want to hang on 1 second, I know he's waiting on us. I'll go ahead and grab him.
Okay.
How are you, buddy?
Hey, how are you? I got my partners on. My partner, Chris, and a guest host, Rena. Say hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Yeah. Sorry for talking top of you.
Good morning.
Good morning. I know it's early for you. You wanted to do this at like 11:30 at night, but we're totally... How you been, man? I haven't seen you since the boat. I think that's the last time I've been to a live show as well.
Yeah, that was our last time as well. I mean, who knew that was going to be the last hurrah? But yeah, I've been doing good, man. Just really, it's been a prolific period for me since quarantine started. I've written 3.5 hours worth of atheist music, and I also wrote an entire album of a brand new band that I put together. So it's been really, really cool. I've been very busy.
Not bad.
So I guess you could say that you've been inspired.
Yeah, well, having a lot of time on my hands, in a way to sort of capture ideas, I set myself up a little studio and just on my laptop and in the corner of my living room, and I have a 3-year-old, so I spend a lot of time at home with him. And so it's it's just been really a great way to obviously hang out with family a lot more and just play a lot of guitar, and I've just been writing like crazy, and so I can't complain about that. Just the opportunity to be out and tour has obviously been crushed on several occasions, and we've missed out on a couple of tours as a result of this, but we'll get through it, I hope, and just keep trucking forward, and hopefully next year will be a better one. But man, what a waste of a year.
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
Hey, Kelly, are you using headphones right now, or are you speaking just into your phone?
Speaking just into my phone.
Do you have headphones that you could use with a microphone?
No.
If not, can I just... your head's kind of moving, and we're losing some of what you're saying.
Oh, okay.
So if the voice sounds
fine. Is this any better?
Yeah, it's good. Just where some of the stuff you're saying is getting kind of taken away.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no
worries.
Don't be sorry.
Yeah, it has been kind of a weird waste of a year, but you guys have done, besides all your writing, though, I think I've seen online that you've done some retooling of the band as well, right?
Well, yeah. Before, in November and December, we toured with Cattle Decapitation, and I brought in a bunch of new guys, and it was a lineup change that was really. I went to South America with a different drummer and different bass player, and that didn't work out really well. But the shows went well. The guys did a good job. But just as in terms of putting a whole new band together, Steve Flynn, my original drummer, is he's still very much involved in the band, and we just kind of talked last year about the inability for him to be able to tour, and how important it is for us to get out. And over the years, we haven't been able to tour as much as we'd like to. So I told him, I said, I'd like to bring in an understudy on the drums, and so that got the ball rolling on that. And so I ended up just getting really lucky and finding this group of guys from Berkeley who all know each other, and 2 of them play in a band together themselves, Yoav, our bass player Yoav Ruiz, and Anthony Medalla. And those guys play together. And so anyway, one thing led to another, and I literally, just retooled the whole band, and Wynn did that tour, and those guys just killed it, and and really impressed a lot of people. And then, so I didn't get a chance to fully introduce them to everybody. So we thought the quarantine videos of them doing Mother Man and the Psychic Saw would be a good way to sort of introduce them to the world.
Right.
And let everybody know that we'll be definitely making a record with these guys. And they're just really, they play this material better than almost better than we played it back in the day. And, since we've been back together since '06, I've been seeking this kind of a lineup. We're just virtuoso players. Just all of them are really, really good. And they're super good people as well, and they're all great writers. And so, but me and Steve sort of keep control on the template of Atheist. So it's always sort of maintained its integrity and keep it. And those guys have respect for that. And so all those things combined make them perfect candidates for new guys. And they bring a lot of life to the band, a lot of life to the live show as well. And, we can't say enough about them. They're great.
That's a really interesting dynamic to have, where one of the members of the band is like, I can't do the touring thing as much as I used to do. And then instead of leaving the band like most people would do, he's like, well, I'll let you have an understudy and, you can go tour with them, but I still want to be part of it.
Yeah, cheat on my wife, so to speak. Like, you go ahead, honey. I don't feel like banging you anymore, but you go ahead. No, but he just really can't. He's such an important part of the writing process. He plays in such an unusual way on drums, and anybody who's sort of listened to our catalog can attest to the fact that there's a lot of great drummers, and many who play faster and many who play heavier, but literally nobody plays like that guy. And so he's key to to kind of keeping and I wrote quite a lot of the stuff as well, so we just have a great way of maintaining the template, which I think is really important in moving forward and making a new record. And so he's but we got to tour. We got to be able to, in order to do business, we got to be able to get out and tour. Plus, I want to get out and tour, and so we have different lives. He's very involved in the corporate world, and I'm still doing the exact same thing. I've always done: play music and tour, and this is my love and passion. So it worked out nice, and that tour worked out really well, and he actually came to the show in Atlanta and was just blown away. It was weird for him because he literally had to watch somebody watch his spouse have sex with somebody else in front of a bunch of people
that were cheering them on. All right.
Yeah, he was really blown away by it. faster. It was cool though, and so yeah, we're so it really was unfortunate when the virus came because we were just hitting a stride. After that tour, we did the 70,000 Tons of Metal, and that was a blast. And those guys were really well received there as well, the new guys. And,
yeah.
There was a lot of people who were like, oh man, this is, there's always somebody that's got something to say about, it's just, the Atheist cover band. No, it's not. You know what I mean? It's kids that grew up on this music. When I say kids, they're like 23 to 29 years old. And, they grew up on this music as well, and they have a lot of respect for it and how it's played and how difficult it is to play. And they took a lot of time and paying attention to detail. And if you watch those videos, those kids are playing it as good as it can be played.
I watched them before we got on the air here, and I was just like, holy shit.
I've been able to find a drummer that can play like that. There's so many little tiny things that Steve does that are really hard to find somebody that can go between the speed and then have that kind of complexity as well. And so Anthony did a really phenomenal job. And then obviously bass, our bass player being really, really important. This kid is like he's unbelievable, man. He's a great performer as well. And so I just feel really lucky, and I just hate that we can't get out of this fucking virus.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you were at the 70 Tons of Metal cruise, and you know how a lot of people have gotten stranded on the boats. Can you just imagine that happening? Like, these boats full of metal bands, and you're stuck there.
I got to say that it wouldn't be bad to get stuck on 70,000 tons.
No.
Okay. I have a disclaimer. So some of my best
collaborations.
What's that?
Can you imagine the collaborations that could come up?
Oh my God, yeah, no question. We'd have to fly in a few laptops to record with, but definitely that would be if nothing else, some great nights of karaoke.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so we're on 70,000 Tons of Metal now. How was was that your first time on the cruise?
No, we did 2011.
Oh shit, that was the inaugural year.
Yeah, I was there. That was out of Miami on the small boat.
Yeah, it was a good time.
That's actually where I met Chris.
Yeah, see, that was Chris's. That's actually where I met Chris as well. Funny story is that was the very first time I met him, and within, I don't know, a couple of hours we were on stage together. He was the first sort of new guy, virtuoso, like a really great player, kid who I don't have to sit and teach them the music. I mean, there's some people that can just pick things up, and that's the kind of guys that I really wanted to play with, guys that can hear what's happening and be able to recreate it. And so that was he was friends with a guy that used to play with us named Jonathan Thompson, who played the bass and guitar on Jupiter. And he wasn't going to be able to continue on with the band. And he's like, oh, I know this guy, Chris. And so I was like, okay, well, and he was in Atlanta where Steve Flynn was. And so Steve did that show with us. And he said, this kid's got it, man. And so he was my roommate on the boat as well. And, I just knew he was going to be good because he was sleeping. When we first got on the boat, he was sleeping. And then I went down to to one of the bar areas, and they were having like an open jam, and everybody was up kind of playing and playing Maiden and playing this and that. And I knew that he also played in a cover tune band. So I woke him up and I said, hey man, you should go down and jam with these guys. They're struggling to find somebody to lead the way. He jumps up out of bed, goes down there. Within minutes, he's crushing out Maiden tunes on.
That's great.
And he just, playing it note for note. And I was just like, yeah, that's our dude. And so yeah, that time on stage was our first time, sort of seeing each other, meeting each other, and on that boat. So
nice.
Now I got a whole band full of them. They're just really, really good. They all read and write music. And
so here's a question: which cruise was crazier, 2011 or 2020?
2020, easy. I mean, 2020 was on fire.
Good year.
Yeah, it was just so. I remember just being with Tomas from At the Gates and everybody watching Exodus on the last night, and the wind plus the weather.
Yeah.
That one night walking on the top deck was 50, 60 mile an hour winds and smoke blowing all over the place from the stage. It was just, I don't know, it was very metal. It felt
plus
really
there was
metal.
Emperor.
Yeah, among other things. Shit, At the Gates. Suffo.
I'm so pissed off that I missed it because my wife was like, she's only allows me to go every second year. So
I
don't like those odds.
Well, I know. And I said, well, I gotta go. And she's like, well, no, you went last year. And I was like, because
yeah, my wife got to come with me this time, which was really nice. And that was a good time for her as well. She doesn't really get to see that side of my life at all. And so that was a lot of fun. And good a chance to, because we have a brand new, baby, not brand new. Well, he was only 2.5 at that point. He's 3.5 now, but and so her to get away and get a little vacation. We didn't, we've been locked down with a kid for a long time.
Yeah.
So all in all, it was just a really, really good time. And I just can't say enough about that cruise and the people who run it. And
Andy is amazing.
Me and John Longstrip did the buggy tour in Mexico, and so we had, we just made the most of it. I wish I didn't. I mean, I don't know how I could have had more fun, but I still wish I'd have known that was going to be it.
Right, the end
for a year.
Right.
Okay, so question: what was your bar tab at the end of the cruise?
Oh man, we spent about $1,200. I mean, it was a lot. Not really though, because over the course of we drank a lot more than that. Many people were very kind to me and bought me lots of shots. but it was $1,200 and with tips and everything. So it was but it's I because we played, my cabin was free, and all the food was phenomenal, and just
it's
just
like a metal
just the
vacation.
best time. It's like going to a town, a floating town full of all the people that are like-minded. Like everybody, and there was just no fights, no bullshit. it's just metal. The metal community is just unlike any other music fan base, and people that don't involve themselves in it, or people that have a preconceived notion about it, are just fucking stupid. They're just, it's such a great group of people.
Well, yes, it is. There is definitely like a sense of family and just belonging, like in this entire group. Like here in Finland, we have, I don't know if you've ever played the Tuska Festival, which was of course also cancelled this year, but it's always the festival with the least or actually zero incidents for the police to come in and take care of. And apparently the worst festival is the tango fair for the middle-aged people who do like this. And I'm not being like, the actual like, passionate tango that they do in Portugal or whatever. This is horrible evergreens kind of boring stuff where like 50-something people dance in a crowded space and then get into a lot of drunken fights. So that's always...
I think, if you get into middle-aged people and it shows, and I think it's a lot of amateur night where they're not used to partying, they're not used to being sort of elevated, be it alcohol or smoking or whatever, and then next thing you know, there's issues. What's funny also about metal is that the most 6'6" Viking-looking scary guy in the world will end up being the nicest guy you'll meet on the boat. These large, intimidating-looking men are just the sweetest, kindest guys, but they look like they'll just pull you apart limb from limb, and they probably would, but they just, they're just very, very kind people. So there's a lot of misconceptions about metalheads, and I think, it's just a visual thing. It's just judging a book by its cover, I think is primarily what people do, and they're just missing the boat on a lot of very, very good people.
This is actually, in 2011, I wasn't a metalhead. I liked modern rock and like older hair metal. I mean, Maiden I liked, but I wasn't a metalhead. But because Andy is a good friend of mine and he was putting on the cruise, I went to support him. I was like, yeah, I'll go. I'll go and check it out. And I, at the time I golf a lot. So all I had for summer clothes was like golfing outfits and shit. And, and I go there and I'm dressed in like, a collared shirt and a fucking Titleist hat and some fucking, shorts or whatever. And everyone's like, what the fuck is with this guy? and
there's a cop.
Yeah.
He's a cop.
Yeah. But because of that, everyone just was like, you're so fucked up. And they embraced me. And I'd never had such a familial experience. Like I ended up becoming really good friends with the guys from Epica, and we were like fucking shooting tequila, and Britta from Cripper, and like shit got fucked up. Like we were wasted all 4 days. My bar bill at the end of that was like $900. And it
gets up there. You don't think about it too, because you just have that card. That's dangerous.
Oh, it's
you
fucking
just
dangerous.
Show your little crew card or whatever that card is they give you. You just swipe for 4 days. And it's funny when you're leaving the boat and you look at people who clearly have fucked up and
spend more than they have.
They're stuck at the front desk going, well, I don't understand. I don't know how my bill got so high. It's like, see you later.
Oh man, I got off that boat and I was supposed to be going with the crew to the hotel, but I got lost. I stayed up all night for karaoke, and I was just fucking so hungover. And I got off the boat and I had no idea where the fuck I was. And I'm sitting on this bench, and like all these people that I partied with the night before were coming by like, hey, where are you going? I'm like, I don't fucking know. And I had no idea.
I'm going to play golf.
I had no idea where the hotel was. I didn't know fucking nothing. So I'm just sitting on the bench and I'm thinking to myself, well, I have my credit card and I guess I could fucking find some Wi-Fi and try and get a hotel. I was just like, what the fuck am I going to do? I just sat there for like 2 hours, just like guzzling water, not pissing because I was so dehydrated.
It is quite an experience, man. I mean, it's, and when you come off it, I mean, 4 days of banging that hard and that many bands and that many people and just all the elevator rides. That's one of the fun things too. You never know who the hell you're going to get on the elevator with.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Any one of 62 bands, that you've watched, over the years, or be it new band or old band. That's just, you end up on the elevator with everybody.
Or someone dressed in an inflatable dick costume, because I saw a lot of them too.
Oh man! in 2011, I'm hanging out at the bar on the last night, and I'm drinking a lot, copious amounts of booze. And I'm sitting there, and I was talking. I can't even remember this woman's name, but I'm sitting there, and Uli walks up, and he's just like, "Hey guys, how you doing?" And like, I just chatted with Uli for like 30 minutes. I was just like, "Holy fuck, did that just happen?" Like,
it's a great experience. I mean, and if you're a metal fan, I encourage everyone to go to, because I mean, there's really no other festival experience around that allows you that kind of contact with, bands you've looked up to for years, or bands you've listened to for years. And, it's pretty hard to not run into, just if you think about it, Possessed was on this last year, and it's like running into him all the time for 4 days was really cool, because, we've known of each other for decades, but never had a chance to hang out like that. And so, and then the casino, and just endless shit to do.
You mean the smoke-cino?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm a smoker, so that was my retreat.
You walk in there, and it's just like you're swimming through a fog of cigarette smoke.
Yes, indeed.
Can you remember when I'm talking as a Finnish person, but in Finland, smoking in bars was banned like over 10 years ago or something. And it was so weird to get used to that, because got used to the whole sea of smoke.
Oh yeah,
norm.
Yeah.
And I of course smoke myself sometimes, and at that time did smoke a lot. And you would go through at least one pack of cigarettes in 2 hours, just downing the
just drinking. Yeah.
In a pub. And it felt like such a weird thing at first that you didn't have that you would, after a night at a bar, you came home and your underwear didn't reek of cigarette smoke. It was so hard to deal with that when I've been to Germany or some places where they can still smoke, at least in some bars. And you're just like, oh my God, ew. So gross. The core thing of that evening, just chain smoking.
I'm an ex-smoker.
Yeah.
I'm an ex-smoker, except on 70,000 Tons of Metal. There's just something about being on that boat, and the cigarettes. You could buy a carton for like $30. I'm like, fuck it, let's go. And we just
there's just lots of time on your hands and stuff. So I don't know. It goes hand in hand. If I didn't have to eat, drink, smoke, wake up, or any of those things, then I could stop smoking. But
here's a question. Here's a question I have. Then you're on the boat, and a lot of people lose their voice on the boat, be it from screaming or just change in environments, air conditioning to non-air conditioning, back and forth. How did you deal with that aspect of performance?
I had just come off of that tour, so I was pretty greased up and ready to go. And I'd also been sick on the tour and healed. And in a lot of ways, I feel like I had COVID. I feel like the whole tour, the Cattle Decapitation tour, there was 5 bands, and everybody at some point got bedridden for a couple of days, and until it was showtime, and including our crew. And not knowing what it was, we just thought, it was just normal tour cold. But it was really bad, though. We were, I remember our sound guy, who was a big pot fan. We were in Colorado, and we couldn't wait. We talked about it for the whole trip. Can't wait to get to Colorado, get some weed, and go to the pot shops. And he couldn't get out of bed for the 2 days that we were there, and we had 1 day off. And so it was. I knew, but of course I didn't know that it was COVID until once I got home. I realized, well, I think that we probably had that, because each of us just were down and out for about 2 days, really, really bad, but nobody went to the hospital or anything. We just kind of roughed our way through it. But I'm just, my voice is just so, I don't know. I get now on tour sometimes during the day, after a night of talk. It's talking that really fucks me up. And I end up being the guy that does all the interviews and talking to a lot more people than everyone else. So after screaming, you're supposed to be quiet for an hour, and not talk at all. And I do the complete opposite of that. And so sometimes when I wake up in the morning, and I'm like, and I have to spend all day kind of whispering just to make sure that I'm good to go for the evening. So, but on the boat, I was fine. I think my voice had gotten used to it at that point. We just did 30 shows in a row, and so I was back in action again. But yeah, if you're not touring on a regular basis, and you get out there and start talking and drinking and screaming and talking, drinking, screaming, and night after night, and then before you know it, you're like, shit, I'm 50. So,
want a tip for that? You want a tip that helps with that, actually?
Yeah,
What's that?
I do.
I have a tip for you. You just need to take like a glass of water that is warm, not hot, but warm, and just a tiny pinch of salt in it. And then you gargle with that water. Do it for like 5 minutes. Yeah, it relaxes your
I have this stuff called throat coat that is that I learned I got from actually being on tour with Ozzy in 2002. I noticed that he was drinking this orange shit on stage, and I was like, "What is that?" And so the crew guys were like, "Oh, well, they got it at catering. We'll go get it." It's called throat coat, and it'll get you through anything. Like no matter how bad your voice is, if you need to get through 45 minutes or an hour, and you drink this tea, it just lubricates your throat in a way that I've never had anything more effective. And
Really?
I always tell people about it all the time. Yeah, it's literally called throat coat, and
Oh,
it's just brilliant. And
Thank you.
and what's that?
Thank you. Like I'm a vocalist, and I tried to give you a tip, and turns out you're giving.
Oh, listen, I can't say enough about it. And good old Ozzy, that's where it came from. But I figured, well, shit, damn sure works for him.
Right.
He's like 70 years old. Well, at that time, he was only maybe 65, but he had a big glass of it, and I remember him. In the middle of one of the shows. I watched him like 28 days in a row. Like I would go to dinner and then come and see Ozzy every night. It was just a dream tour. It was awesome. But and I'd see him finish the cup of orange stuff and scream for his stage manager to bring him more. And that's what made me go, what the hell? What is that? And luckily they had it at catering every morning, so my tour manager would always go get it for me, and I would start the day with that. And because a lot of times we were playing really early, like Ozfest 2002, we were the very first band on the very first day at 9:30 in the morning. So we had to, you got to get up at 7:30, and that's just very non-metal hours. And
Yeah.
Especially when you're on Ozfest.
Yeah. Oh God. It's just, and then you're essentially at you play for 20 minutes, and then the rest of the day you're at this fucking amazing concert, day after day after day after day. Wear you down. To talk about that was just a complete journey from 2.5 months and I've never been a part of anything like that in my life. So the 70,000 Tons of Metal and Ozfest, two very, high points in my career in terms of fun and really just doing exactly what I want to do. And that's the life I enjoy living, even though I don't have mansions and 401ks and all that. Life is about living, and that is living, and that is having a lot of fun, and I enjoy it a lot.
I just found throat coat on Amazon. It's cheap, man.
Yeah, it's not expensive, and I don't know what the hell's in it, but
it says slippery elm. That's what it says.
Slippery elm. There you have it.
I have no idea what it is.
It just like you can be really hoarse and just go, shit, I gotta go on stage. What am I gonna do? And drink a big cup of it, and you can even have it on stage and feel the difference in between songs. So as a vocalist, yeah, you definitely want to make friends with throat coat for sure. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Sure.
So Kelly, I know we talked about it briefly, but do you ever imagine you'd still be doing this so many years later? I mean, you said you're 50, so you're right around my age. It's a long time, right?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of did, man. I can't ever imagine. I've been doing it since I'm 15, and it's not even really what I do. It's who I am. I can't imagine not making music. It's a bit of it's like having a car with no exhaust pipe. I mean,
Right.
I need an exhaust pipe, and everybody I think needs that. I think that's one of the problems with the world is where everybody's so fucking tense and argumentative and divisive, and because they don't have an outlet.
Yeah.
I don't have to punch anybody in the face. I can write a song that punches you in the face.
Cathartic for sure.
Yeah, and it really helps me a lot. And I think that it's just become such a part of who I am that it's not even, people around locally, I see people and they don't really know what's going on with the band because, it's an underground thing. And unless it's on mainstream news, they think, oh, hey, Kelly, how you doing? Are you still playing music? I'm like, nah, man, I trim trees now. I mow lawns. Of course I still play music. It's like asking me, like, still drink any fluids?
Right.
Yes, I do. I actually still take in fluids. But it's just people don't understand that, how woven into your soul music can be, and especially if you're playing and creating music for if you've had any sort of success at all, that's obviously a lure to keep going. And it was just really inspiring to watch Atheist sort of come back after 17 years and have that many people give a shit. Right. And it's really hard. There's a lot of bands making music over a lot of years, hundreds of thousands of bands, lots of songs, lots of, great players. The fact that, to make any piece of art that lasts for 30 years is just really hard to do, man. And so I think that was an inspiration as well. Just always like, kind of a signal from the universe to, just keep doing what you're doing, and just keep making music, and it matters to people. And I look sometimes at local bands that are, that have been doing it for a long time, and I wonder where they get their strength from. They've been bashing it out for 25 years and still nobody cares. And so I don't know how they get their motivation. We get our juice from the crowd, and playing tours and stuff. And, so if you start to lose momentum, you get out on tour and you're reminded of how, how that relationship of playing. I always think about it like, these invisible waves, like you get up and with your instruments, you create these invisible waves that hit people, and then they react in a way that hits you back. The next thing you know, you've got this combination of energy that's just unprecedented. And I've never had a job, or I've never done anything in my life that ever gave me that kind of juice back, and a lot of people put effort into things, whether it's building houses or doing all these things, but the house never gives you anything back,
Right.
when you make noise, if I scream and I go, make some noise, it's a power that, aside from being a large political leader or a large motivational speaker, not that many jobs allow that kind of response, where you can just go out and dominate 40,000 people. And just, that's a lot of fun. Now, if I had to go out in front of 4 people, that would scare the shit out of me. The small, really small crowd. Like, I cannot do karaoke or nothing. It scares the shit out of me. Like, and people are like, "Are you crazy? Like, you go out in front of Vok and 60,000 people, and that doesn't bother you?" I'm like, "Fuck no, I love that. That's easy, and you get out, and it's easy to control that many people. It's also easy to lose your ass out there too if you're not. But as long as you're confident, you got a good band. The only reason you would be at Vakken anyway is if you had a band that was worth a shit. So
right.
So that kind of is the precedent. But I love walking out and just communicating with thousands of people all at one time. I just feel like I'm having a conversation with a really large group of people, and it's a lot of fun. I dig
That's
it.
great.
Definitely. I need to take you back a little bit to when you said, like, that there's the cosmic influence or cosmic sign that things should be in a certain way and your band should go on and so on. I think there was some cosmic, what's the word, guidance today as well, because I was looking at your Spotify and where people listen to you the most. And there's Santiago, Mexico City, Chicago, Los Angeles, and Helsinki, Finland.
Nice. We had a great show up in Finland. I can't wait to go back there. One of my favorite things about Finland was the guys, like some of the most beautiful men I've ever seen in my life. I was like, look at the hair and the features on these like Finnish metal dudes who are just rugged dudes, but like they just look so different. Like they all look like models. Like there was a lot, not all of them, but I mean, there's something about Finnish people, really beautiful features that I noticed right away coming from the States. And, you get around, touring around Europe, you see the different features. You get up into Scandinavia and you see the women are all 6 feet tall in Norway, and, and all the men are big Vikings. And so
you came here, dude. Like, seriously. Are you sure you
Well, think about it, the quality of hair in Finland was also a big deal. I noticed that everybody had super healthy hair. And so I was inquiring to all the promoters, like, what's the water supply? Where do you get the water supply from? I'm super curious about how everybody's hair was so fucking awesome, And my next favorite thing about Finland was everybody's battle jackets. Their battle jackets are unlike anybody else in the world. Like Yeah, well, and also they're, not even just battle jackets because it's so fucking cold. Their leather jackets were so legitimate and so rugged and whereas if you go to a show in America, you see some kid who maybe wears his jacket twice a year, he breaks it out to go to the concert to fit in, and it's not that at all in Finland. In Finland, it's like you can tell that guy has fought. He is fucked. He's fucking done everything in that jacket. You know what I mean? And I like that. I thought that was really a good quality. So I can't say enough about Finland. Great fucking show. We played the, what was it, Yalamatali? Yeah. Is that how you say it?
Yeah. Yalometalli Festival. Yeah. Great festival.
Yeah, that was so much fun. And, but I think it's interesting though. One of the great things about this job and playing music, I hate to call it a job, but just playing music is, where else do you get the ability to see that many different nationalities and different, just different kinds of people and the way people carry themselves and the way they dress and the way they react to music and, but all with this common denominator of a love of extreme music. And I think people miss out on it. I think a lot of people that are mainstream just miss out on that. It's a true family of unique people of all shapes and sizes. It's really cool.
Right. Yeah. This is what I mean. And it doesn't matter which country you go into. The mutual love of metal and the sense of family does extend over any border of any country, and it's your home wherever you go.
And 70K is a perfect microcosm of that. Yeah. Because you've got, 70 countries with the people represented on that boat. And just everybody's, just so nice and it's a great thing. And I don't think you get that out of rock and roll or blues or
I don't think you find that in any other genre at all.
No, not even punk rock. I think punk rock is just so, they're so hell bent on being angry that they kind of lose the idea that the anger can come to the music. You don't have to be a dick in person.
Right.
I like what Andy calls 70,000 tons of metal, where he calls it the United Nations of heavy metal.
Absolutely.
Nice. It is.
In my experience, the hardest group to infiltrate was the hippies. They were just like, you're not one of us.
And you think that they would be the people that would, with the peace and love and everything, that they would be more sort of open to that thing. But actually, there's that quality that sort of flies into the, with the camping and everything in festivals in Europe. Everybody's just really helpful to each other. And sometimes, I've noticed over the years, somebody goes to a festival and they don't really, something happens. They lose their friends, or their friends have to leave, and suddenly they make new friends, and now they're camping out with their new friends, and before you know, they've developed this huge bond with these, people from an entirely different culture. Another thing I love is being able to go and smoke pot with kids in different countries and say, let's go, and we go over by a car, just like I did when I was 16, and you go and you have a conversation about music while you're smoking, and then I get to, they're kind of like, I can't believe that, the guy from Atheist is here smoking. And I'm like, well, I am you, man. We're the same. Right. I just happen to have a band that you gave a shit enough about to look into. And then, especially young kids, I like to hear their stories. Like, how did you find my band? And their stories are similar to when I was young and I discovered early Slayer and early Metallica and early Merciful Fate and riding around the car, getting high with my friends in high school. And they have those same experiences, but different, in a different culture. And, it's just, I'm a kind of a, I like the psychology of it all, and why, how did you find this? And it's always some weird one time in Norway, I'm having a conversation for the longest time with this guy, and he's drinking red wine. And I was noting that in Norway, people seem to drink a lot of wine, but the guys that look like in America, they would be drinking a Bud Light, but these guys are literally swirling their wine in these really nice glasses. And so, it was like, so I'm talking to him and he's telling me, he's like, I went to the woods with 2 cassettes, Atheist Piece of Time and Obituary, Cause of Death. And I kicked heroin. And I'm like, wow, holy shit. And, people tell me a lot of crazy stories, but, he said, literally, I had my radio, my music, and those were the 2 cassettes I had. And I went out, and I can't remember exactly how many days, but out in the snow and the cold, and he went out and toughed it out and got off the heroin. And turns out that the guy was the singer for Turbo Negro.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
I was like, holy shit. I had no idea like how big they were there either. And I had just seen them play for in the States with Queens of the Stone Age. And so the whole time I'm having this conversation with him, I just thought, oh, a really interesting guy. But he did not look like he played in the band at all. You know, he had a suit on and was drinking the red wine, but he had a big beard and everything. But and I was shocked. And then he was like, oh, no, I play music. And I was like, Turbo Negro, what the fuck? Holy shit. And so then it just took on a whole nother level of, just all kinds of interesting things you hear on the road. But I'd love to hear how people discover bands or what, what role. I almost feel like, when I meet people, it's like we've known each other for a really long time. I mean, and that's how it is. If I made music 30 years ago and somebody my age, like on the American tour, a lot of guys my age came up and said, dude, I grew up listening to your music. And it's like, I understand that. I'm just so grateful to be in a band that mattered that much to where, it stayed with people for 30 years, because I have a lot of bands that are staples in my diet, my music diet,
Sure.
as I call it. And so it's just nice that, when it's all said and done, really the money doesn't matter as much as leaving behind a really quality sort of footprint in music. And, so it's a nice feeling to at least know that, when I'm gone, my 3-year-old will, grow up and discover the impact that, that I made musically, and hopefully be proud of me, and, so that's more important than making, hundreds of thousands of dollars to me.
Awesome. Kelly, that's all I've got. I know we kept you a long time here. Sorry if we...
No, man, I'm a chatty fucker, so...
No, that's good.
No way, dude, no.
Chris, you got anything?
I don't, man. I can't really say for those of you that don't know who Atheist is, because obviously everybody does, but where can they find you?
Well, what can really help the band out right now is atheist.indiemerch.com. You can really help bands out now by just buying a shirt. You buy a shirt from your favorite band, and if everybody did that, it would really help out a lot. And you can find us on official Atheist Band on Facebook and on Instagram. Definitely go over there and hit us up. We're very interactive. We'd love to talk to people. So if you have any questions or just want to shoot the shit about metal, I'm always there on those websites. And so atheist.indiemerch.com, and also Shadow Kingdom Records is an official distributor of our merch. And I also want to say that in this quarantine, I ended up writing this set of songs that's going to be a new band called Till the Dirt. And after I hang up, if you send me your email, I'll send you guys a few songs. It's like if you can imagine if Soundgarden were Scandinavian. So it's like a black metal Soundgarden. It's like really fucking, and it wasn't intentional. It's just in the middle of writing all these Atheist riffs and, like I said, 3.5 hours worth of stuff. These songs sort of emerged out of there, and the first 2 songs emerged, and I sent them around to like Gene Hoglan and Steve DiGiorgio and all my sort of heavyweight music friends, just to kind of get a peer review of everything. I sent it to Bory at Blabbermouth and people I knew would not bullshit me. And,
Yeah.
they all came back with the same thing, like, whoa, what the fuck is this? And it's like this combination of I don't know, my voice being I'm vocally, I've never done anything like this at all. It's really, really, it's fucking heavy and brutal, and I'm really excited about it. And I finished in the month of August. I did 10 songs. I just finished the 11th one now, and so I'm real excited about it. So before, I didn't count on putting this other thing together, but it's super unique and different, and it's like a really catchy extreme metal, but in a different way. It's hard to explain because you don't typically get that grungy Soundgarden type vibe in extreme metal.
No.
There's usually a pretty a divide there that's never really crossed over, but somehow that this has that kind of feel. So you can judge for yourself. I'll send you guys a couple of MP3s, and I'll dig it. Everybody seems to be feeling it so far, and so it's fun when you create something, because I've written a lot of music. Sometimes I send it to people and I never hear back from them, and it's you can tell they just don't want to be insulting. They're like, I don't like that. I want to hear Atheist, or they'll come back. When's the next Atheist album come up? But this stuff I've been sending around to people, and they're like, holy shit, this is really super catchy, but heavy as shit, and it kind of combines it combines my world of neurotica and my world of atheist. So I'm using a clean voice, but not in a typical clean way. It's in a grungy sort of way. And but maybe some people will wrinkle their nose at that, but I don't think they will when they hear it. It's got a lot of groove to it and a lot of viciousness. It sounds like at times it sounds like a really good cat fight. It's like it's just really really tortured sounding. So I'm excited about it.
What did
Till
your
the dirt.
think about it?
What's that?
What was your 3-year-old's judgment of your new band?
Well, he's the executive producer on it because, like, I literally he sits here on the couch while I'm doing vocals, and Paw Patrol's on in the background. And the great thing about being able to record with studios these days is you can sit in your living room and with headphones and make all these incredible sounds, and I don't have to have an amplifier. I can play my guitar through plugins.
Right.
And they have these incredible plugins now, and that sound better than if you had an amp. So I can make all kinds of noise in the corner, and he sits and listens to. I mean, he's in 11 songs in now. Probably thinks I'm out of my fucking mind. When you hear the vocals, and you imagine a 3-year-old sitting there while I'm doing these vocals, like it's So he's great, and he's like, Daddy, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm doing vocals, and he's like, vocals. And, all right, doing vocals. So he's gonna remember this time. I think when he gets older, it's they say that in the first 3 years are the formative years of a kid's life, and kind of how they're programmed, and
yeah.
And so he's definitely being programmed in the songwriting mode.
That's great.
Definitely. It was funny. Like when I was pregnant with my kid, I would sing to the child when it was in my womb. I was like, all right, they're gonna recognize the songs when they come out.
Absolutely.
And
I think that's really important.
Yeah, and I had all these like grandiose dreams of how amazing it would be when the kid would tear up when I sang the lullaby. What he did actually recognize was that moi 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 moi. Just that I was throughout my pregnancy to this girl, and that was what he had latched onto. So no reaction for the lullabies, but moi 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 moi. Now he's 3. What to say about my singing is, Mom, you're just way too loud. Just be quiet.
He just sometimes thinks, he just comes over and taps me on the shoulder and says, what are you doing? Like he doesn't, but now I think he gets now that it has nothing to do with me being upset or angry.
Right.
Like that.
Right.
Just,
yeah.
So the problem now is if I ever do yell at him, he's going to be like, are we doing vocals? No, we're not doing vocals. I'm fucking yelling at you right now. I can't do it right now.
You smashed up the fucking car. That's fucking pissed off. Oh, we're doing vocals.
Don't make me come back there. I enjoy the conversation, you guys.
Before I let you go, you said you were using guitar amp plugins. What plugins are you using?
I'm using the STL Tone Hub.
Nice.
I'm using, and Mark Lewis was kind enough to send me his pack when it came out about 2-3 months ago, and oh my God, I feel like I have $200,000 worth of amps. I got
it's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't believe the tracing and the ability to just and even after I record a song, I go, hey, I don't know if I like those guitars, and just click. Oh, well, let me try Mesa Boogie. Oh, let me try Soldano. Well, let me try Peavey. It's just fucking. There's no way that I could ever afford, or anybody could ever afford or have the time to do that. And they've just gone to great lengths to create these perfectly compressed killer sounds, so you can hear all your picking, and it's just right at your fingertips. And I just can't say enough about it. If you're a guitar player at home and you're not able to play loud, because you live in an apartment or whatever, I highly recommend you get the STL Tone Hub.
Oh, and yesterday they just released Amp Hub, which is kind of like Tone Hub, except it's a subscription model, so you pay $10 a month, and they just add new amps in every month.
Oh, that's a great idea.
It's crazy.
Oh, it's and Will Putney, all these different producers that have, created all these great guitar sounds, and they've all captured them. And so and the drum loops today are really incredible, really high quality drum loops. And they've gotten metal drummers to create all these, amazing 18 different kinds of blast beats I can use. And it's great because, if I'm writing and a lot of times I roll out a loop and I write just spontaneously. So to ask a drummer to play for an hour solid perfectly, like, hey man, play this part 150 times in a row perfectly so that I can get this riff right. Thank you. That's never going to happen with a real drummer. So it allows me to create in a way that I don't think would be possible. And I'm all for, Atheist is all about writing and being in the same room together. But this is a great way to kind of just tap into different things that you wouldn't normally do. And again, there's no drummer on the planet that can play perfectly for an hour and not want to punch you in the face at the end of it. And so it's nice. It's been a really refreshing way of writing, and I've gotten a lot done and real excited about it. So
nice.
Kelly, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Stay safe down there in Florida.
My pleasure. You do the same, all right? Stay safe. Cheers. Nice to meet you as well. Okay. All right, see you on the road.
Bye-bye.
See you on the road later.
Welcome to my 120 seconds or less of Brutally Delicious. I'm Ash Leigh, and today we are checking out a band that you should be adding into your top 10 at least very, very soon, if not now. If you have any decent taste in music, or at least heed my reviews, you need to go check out what you can right now. It's Ghost of a Fallen Soldier. It actually came out 2 years ago, but that will give you a little taste of what these guys are capable of before their next release of Unearthly Creature that comes out in early December. I think it's December 4th. And it's such a weird sound to describe how even Deftones sounds. I think I like that style influence kind of ticker, with them. I think they actually gravitate more towards Deftones style than, say, like Russian Circles or Cloud Kicker, which I love, because Deftones has always been one of my favorite bands, and they're basically one of the bands that I first started listening to when I was growing up. And these guys, every single fucking song that they put together is just so solid and mesmerizing that you will not like skip to the next song like 20 or 30 seconds into the song. I end up doing that a lot with my random spurts of ADHD. But with that being said, seriously, this new EP, Unearthly Creature, I think it'll be available in CD form and digital formats, anywhere you want to look. Apple Music, YouTube, Spotify. But like I said, it won't be out until December the 4th. But you're not going to want to miss it. So until then, go check out Ghost of a Fallen Soldier, and your ears will fucking thank you. We'll catch you next time.
Ever wonder what a punch from Elton John feels like?
Or how you'd cope with having turned down the chance to be in Nirvana?
Or what signal Keith Richards gives when he wants you to get the hell out of his hotel room?
Fans of Too Much Effing Perspective don't have to wonder, because they've heard these exact stories and a jillion others on our podcast. I'm Alex Hoffman, former tour manager for Radiohead.
And I'm musician and comedy writer Alan Keller. On the TMEP show, we get guests like Nancy Wilson from Heart, Jeremiah Freites from the Lumineers, and Modern Family's Julie Bowen to tell us things they may have only shared with their therapist, clergy, or a TMZ stringer.
So join us on Too Much Effing Perspective. That's EFFING Perspective. The only podcast you crank up to 11.